present in the moment, in the now, versus, and like trying to feel that what the audience is feeling, or what the crowd's feeling, versus like going off your track list. I think that's something I'd love to explore.
I think it's really important. I think realistically, the art of being a DJ is to entertain. I think a lot of people forget about that. But I think for me is I don't plan sets. Like I don't know when this episode comes out, but I'm playing Coachella in about a month's time in California, and you do like 2 weekends in a row. And that's probably the first set that I've ever like really like I'm putting thought into it, of like what could be the intro. Do I need to make a new intro? What records do I need to put in the pool to potentially play? And also look at it as like a bit of a marketing tool where, okay, I'm playing in front of a shit ton of people. Like, what records have I got coming out that I need to create content for? That Coachella content will be the best possible thing. Also, it's being live streamed, so it's like, okay, it's being live streamed to potentially millions of people. So, what records do I want potentially millions of people to see? It's a bit of a different concept of the whole like set planning, whereas usually, and also like it's a bit more of a commercial crowd. So festivals are generally a bit more of a commercial crowd. So like you can probably get away with a little bit more than what you would necessarily in like a dark, dingy club, on the levels of like commerciability of records, if you know what I mean. So for me, like at the end of the day, the crux of DJing is, I feel like it's changed over the time, whereas DJs have become, I don't class myself as this, but it's for people that aren't in the electronic music world, a correlation is DJs are rock stars now, where
100%.
DJs, people go watch DJs play to play their music that they release. And if DJs don't play their music at those sets, you have fans that are pissed off. So DJs, the concept of DJing has changed over the years. But I guess in answer to your question, being able to be a good DJ is, in my eyes, is being able to read the crowd, but also educate at the same time. And I think and going into detail of that. So reading the crowd means, okay, I just played this record. Okay. It went down really well. They want that. They like that. But what's the next record that I need to play that I'm going to get a better response, or I've peaked? So like, let's say for instance, this last weekend I played, I think 4-hour set in Montreal. It's iconic club called Stereo. And I played the bar called Stereo Bar. Again, an iconic venue. Like, because I'm playing a longer set, I don't want it just to be slamming all the time.
Yeah.
Like there has to be peaks and troughs, and it sounds wanky as fuck, but like some people say like, I have to take you on a journey. It's for me, it's not. It's just it's peaks and troughs. It's like, okay, I want to get you to like a crescendo, and then I want to bring you back down. I don't need to keep you there. I don't need to prove a point, because you're going to be in this club for 4 hours listening to me to be play. I don't want to just like absolutely burn you out. I want to be able to like, okay, get to a level of like everyone's going absolutely mental, then just like bring it down a notch, bring it down 2 notches, and kind of almost like kill the dance floor to an extent where you can then build it back up. And I think those are the moments. Some of the best DJs in the world do that, if I'm honest. And that to me is a good DJ, in answer to your question.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It's almost, so the more in the now you are, and I suppose with the more experience, you can kind of, I just, as I said, the name of the record label was just made me so curious. So when you're,
can I add one more thing? Sorry.
Yeah, crack on, mate. Yeah.
A really interesting thing that I do to feel the room is you feel the temperature in the actual room. When it's like really hot and sweaty, you know you've like changed the room. You know that people are moving around. When you're in a room full of 500 people, or you're at a festival in like a bunker with like 15, 20,000 people, when it gets sweaty, you know you've changed the room. And I think that's also a goal, is like how you get people moving, it turns into heat. It's kind of weird, but yeah, it's
I find these things like insane. Well, obviously, I'm not a DJ, but I love going to raves. So
yeah.
I'm probably the sweaty guy in the crowd, right?
Yeah.
So, and then when you talk about this journey, these peaks and troughs and stuff, I think that's how is there like it must be a hard or brave move. As you said, you could just play slammers and stompers all night when you're starting, but as you get more experience, you can almost bring the crowd down and up, and you're kind of the commander of the room. Have you ever tried to bring it down and it's been a bit of a clanger, and then when it's been a clanger, like how do you bring it back up? I find that art quite, I'm curious about that.
I think the whole point of, I think there's actually points where you have to do that. There's
Right.
like, I can't remember who it was. Like, it was either like Kenny Dope or Dennis Ferrero. I can't quote who it was. It's like one of the legends of like house music. And they said like, at some point in your sets, you almost have to make a purpose mistake. If the crowd aren't vibing at all, like, turn the music off.
Really?
Act like something's not gone wrong. You've got all attention on you then. Everyone's paying attention. The minute you put that record back on, it completely changes the atmosphere of the room. It's almost like when I'm playing, especially festivals, when I'm playing after a DJ, I have complete silence. And it's kind of like, okay, you've listened to that. Now it's my time. And if you go to watch a band, when the support act comes on, there's like 5 minutes before the headliner comes on, and people are just waiting. And I think for me is like, there's a level of like, we live in this world where everything's so instant. Everyone wants like instant gratification. They want that kind of like money shot all the time, right? And by making people wait, by like giving them something that they're not used to, silence in a club, it can really game change everything.